Right, so thank you. We start with enlargement. First of all, you know, I come from a country that joined the European Union 20 years ago. And the questions that you put are exactly the same discussion we had 20 years ago, when Poland, together with mine and another 8 countries joined. We had the same questions when Romania and Bulgaria joined in 2007. We had the same questions when Croatia joined in 2012. Well, I think, and I can safely state, and I think you will agree with me, that the fears that there were then, 2002, 2003, over this huge Big Bang enlargement, as it used to be called, did not materialize. If anything, not only did those countries become wealthier, but the European Union, because of the single market, become wealthier. I have always seen enlargement as a win-win situation for the European Union. And it's not only from an economic perspective, it's today also from a security perspective, which is what is guiding our politics and the decisions that we take on Ukraine and Moldova. We start with them. The minute Russia invaded, that was on the 24th of February 2022, we got together as a European Parliament on the 1st of March and told and made it very clear that we wanted Ukraine to become a candidate country. We said the same should be for Moldova. If you ask, then actually Western Balkans woke up and said, hey, don't forget about us. And I don't blame them, because 20 years ago the Western Balkans were also in the list of countries that could potentially join. We have a very strict enlargement system. In other words, steps need to be taken. Different countries have different paths. It took over a decade for my country to join. It took much less for yours. Different processes, but the transformational effect is amazing. Already now we can see a transformational effect, for example, in Ukraine and Moldova. I'll give you examples. We are at the moment doing a parliament to parliament, and I spoke about this to your parliament speaker this morning at Eduskunta, that we are doing committee to committee legislative approximation. In other words, making sure on the judiciary, on corruption, on agriculture, on institutional balance, on democracy, that we are side by side. If anything, it is that leveling up of those countries that we can see even before countries become members of the European Union that make us more economically solid and more secure. And the next 5 years will be crucial for this, with each and every individual Western Balkan country also being on a path, and also Georgia. Will it happen tomorrow? No. Does it take time? Yes. Will there be setbacks? Perhaps. But the one thing I'm sure, and I said this in Chisinau, so capital of Moldova, when I stood there and there were about 60 or 70,000 people, and I said, you know, if a country with over 90% of its population is looking to Europe as its home, whom are we comfortably inside to close the door shut? Now, of course, there are discussions, economics, policies. Once you grow, less countries remain beneficiaries, more become contributors. How are you going to work with a country that is agriculturally very important? At the moment, there is a situation which is with lower cost products coming from a third country into EU market, which is why, in fact, farmers across the European Union are saying, please, we need a level playing field. That we cannot have a situation where farmers, and I'm giving you an example, in the Netherlands are treated differently to farmers in Austria. Examples. We cannot have a situation where our consumers are forced to pay more simply because there are more checks on our products. And that is a real debate. And it's good to have it, because we talk a lot about the green transition. We talk about the climate emergency. It's ticking. We talk about us being the most climate ambitious continent on this planet. Essential. No choice. But when I say no one should be left behind, we cannot move from we depend on the agricultural sector to we don't depend on you at all. The green transition needs to include everyone. And I think we can manage, because that also can be coupled with economic growth.